Come on, stream. Please work. Alright. I think we're good. What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing tonight? So, tonight, I'm going to move things along here because tonight is the first 1 hour episode of All Meshed Up. We're going to be doing a 1 hour format moving forward. So, just trim the show down a little bit. I noticed the show was going a little bit short anyway because of the new giveaway format, which is great. The giveaways are much quicker now. We're just going to do one product or one, guest or whatever. We might do some extended shows on occasion, do like a 1.5 half hour episode special if we have a guest on for an interview or something like that. But majority of the time moving forward, it's going to be 1 hour. So that will hopefully make it easier for some of the folks over in Europe that watch the show too. Won't be on until 3 a.m. your time or later for some people. So, all right. So let's see. Tonight, got some interesting mod news to talk about. We got a bunch of giveaways we're giving away. So I didn't realize this when I got the message from iHybrid Mods that we were going to be giving away an 18650 Pure tonight. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I figured it would just be, a black Pure that takes an 18650 battery. Little did I know that the design has been changed. It's got ribbing on the body now, which I think looks really cool. And it's blue and not black. So I think it's pretty badass looking, if I do say so myself. Yeah, it is ribbed for my pleasure. Yeah, it looks really nice. I'm going to put it back in the bubble wrap, though, so I don't break it before somebody wins it. So, yeah, it looks really cool. So anywho, we're giving one of those away. We're giving away some juice. We got a special giveaway tonight. We're actually going to give away something that I didn't announce in the show announcement earlier because I didn't know we were going to do the giveaway when we did the show announcement. We're actually going to be giving away a 30 milliliter bottle of a new juice called Smoked Custard that I got to try. That's really good and very different. It's a tobacco custard, kind of sweet. I'd almost want to compare it to an RY4, but it's nothing like any RY4 I've ever had. So very, very interesting. It is good. It's really good, actually, and it's very different and unlike anything I've ever had before. So it's like a really good cigar tobacco with custard. I know that may sound gross, but I assure you that it isn't gross. So. And then we're doing giveaways from the usual suspects, Charger from RTD, and we're going to talk about the Romulus from Team Hotwire Philippines, which is this hybrid here, which there's been quite a bit of buzz about lately. So we're going to talk about this guy tonight. All right, so let's get started with a couple giveaways. So we're going to do giveaways more frequently back-to-back now just because of the new show format. So we're going to actually do 3 giveaways in a row here. Ready? First off, we're going to do a giveaway from... Uh-oh. There we go. Don't crash on me. All right, from Allison Vapeland. So this is for a gift certificate from Allison Vapeland that will be enough money on the gift certificate to purchase either a 15 milliliter glass stripper bottle, or a 15 milliliter glass bottle of juice, or an 18 milliliter plastic dropper bottle with the little drip cap. and also pay for domestic shipping. Obviously, it'll be a little more for international shipping. You could also apply it to a larger purchase if you want to, but that is what we're giving away. So let me just pull the list of people in chat real quick. One sec. Oh. All right. And you stink. You stink as the winner. I do need you to confirm in chat, please. All right, he says sweet. All right, congratulations. Let's see here. You stink. I'm going to send you a message in chat. You're going to get an IM from me. Oh, no, you're not. Hold on. It's telling me I need to log in. Let me do that real quick. There we go. Now I'm logged in. I didn't realize I wasn't logged in before. Hold on, it's coming. Let's try that again. All right, here we go. You're going to get an IM from me with my email address. All you need to do is send me an email with subject AIV win or Allison Vapeland win. I'll forward your email address on to Allison Vapeland, and they will send you a coupon code for the gift certificate before the next time that they open for business. I think they're closed next week, so it might be a little bit, but when they reopen, you'll be able to use that gift certificate. And here comes my email. There you have it. Congratulations. So, let's see. Now, next up, a little company called Giant Vapes that some fat hairy scrub owns and operates. But so for tonight, we're going to give away a $20 gift certificate to Giant Vapes, and also until the end of the night, this is for you guys that watch the show. If you are interested in making a purchase from Giant Vapes, we are doing a 10% off discount for you guys until the end of the night. So if you're planning on buying something, use VapeOn10. I just posted it in chat for 10% off of your purchase till the end of the night. And let's do a $20 gift certificate. So let's see, hold on. It's funny you say that, Time Monster. We actually had a few different logo designs that did incorporate that, and none of them really came out very well. And we ended up going with this one instead. All right, let's see what we got. So for the Giant Vapes coupon code, Dr. Drude. I'm sorry, for the gift certificate, not coupon code. Dr. Drude, let me just get a confirmation from you in chat that you want it or not. Yes, please. All right. I am going to send you a message in chat. Not in chat. You're going to get an instant message through Vaughn Chat with my email address. All you got to do is send me an email that has the subject Giant Vapes win, and I will reply to you with your code to put in for the $20 off purchase. All right, here comes my email. There you go. Congratulations, Dr. Drude. And so we're going to do one more giveaway. Now this one is, like I said, this is for that special giveaway from Nick's Blissful Brews. It's a 30 milliliter bottle of his smoked custard. He does not have a website yet, so but he did want me to let you know that his products will be available in the relatively near future at Giant Vapes. So I'm not sure when, but at some point. Let's see here. So let's pull the list again, just in case anybody came in between the last one and this one. And start. Overladen is the winner. Let me get a confirmation, Overladen, in chat, just to make sure that you want the smoked custard juice. Just give me a yes or no, please. It's a 30 milliliter bottle. All right, congratulations. So I'm going to send you an IM in chat. All you need to do is send me an email with the subject smoked custard win, and in the email, if you could include the nicotine level that you want and your shipping address, please, and we'll get the 30 milliliter bottle of smoked custard out to you. Congratulations. And there is my email address. All right. Very good. Let's start talking about some mod news. So, first up, we have the Dome. Now, I talked about this a long time back when they first announced this guy. This is the Dome by Atmomechani, which I butchered the last time I said that name on my show and have since learned to pronounce it properly. Now, this guy is available either with Nemesis or 69 mod threading, also mods made by Atmomechani. It's available right now on their site. I'll give you a link in case anybody is interested in checking one of these guys out. That is the link to their website. It's €150, so it's not cheap. It's going to be, probably with shipping, you're looking at over $200. And I have not tried one of these, so I can't recommend it based on my personal experience. However, Atmomechani is known for some pretty exceptional products, so I would be surprised if it's not very innovative. But I do want to give you a little bit of information that I saw on their website about the Dome. So the user can choose which mesh hole they want to use and change it whenever you want. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I'm assuming that it has a lot of different mesh hole options underneath the top cap. It has adjustable air flow and adjustable air angle, which allows you to control the temperature of the vapor. Pretty cool feature. The wick holes are insulated, which is going to make it much easier to set up. You won't have to deal with with shorts inside the wick hole, which are the most common cause of top coil hotspots. It does have airflow control. You have various different airflow sizes. You can set it up with single wick, U wick, or dual wick or double U wick. It has regulated decompression of the tank. I'm assuming that means it has some kind of regulated fill hole that would control the airflow or the air coming in and out of the tank as the juice is wicked up the wick. The tank can be opened for cleaning and changing liquid out without ruining your setup, which is really nice. That's actually something that I'm going to talk about with the Romulus as well. And like I mentioned, it does have the vapor control, vapor temperature control. Comes with some stainless steel mesh and Canthal wire as well, and a little velvet carrying pouch. All that can be yours for €150 plus shipping. So it looks pretty cool, I have to say. Oh, it's got a valve to release the pressure. Very nice, Vapus. Thank you. I actually am excited to try this guy out, and we'll most likely be reviewing it on the show, hopefully in the near future. Let's see. So, what else do we have coming out? This is really pretty. This is the Elite Edition, limited edition puzzle box from Lucos. I've shown you guys the puzzle box before. This is the newest one. This is, like I said, it's a limited edition. They're actually done custom. I can give you the website if you want to talk to them and get some information about ordering. They're available in either mechanical or 20 watt variable wattage. It is not a DNA 20 chip though. It's it's an Orion not switch. It's an Orion chip that's in the device. Not Orion as in no smoker, different Orion. And it is variable all the way up to 20 watts though. And as you can see in the picture, you can get them customized. That one on the left actually has the Peppo logo on it, which is the same logo that you'll see on the No Name. He's actually got an Italian artist that's working with him to do special mosaics on these. So pretty cool. Each one's unique, handmade, and accompanied by a certificate from the artist that did the artwork on the device. And here's just a couple examples of them. And it does have the airflow control on top. They are available as a bottom feeder. That airflow control allows you to adjust the airflow that's going into the bottom of your atomizer if you're using a standard 510, like an HH357 or something along those lines. So, and they, like I said, are handcrafted on request. So very, very cool looking. Next up, we've got the steampunk pipes from Low Tech Mods. Let me get you a link if you want to check these guys out. These are 120 bucks. I don't believe there are any in stock at the moment, but they're basically a stylized 18350 box pipe mod. It's fully mechanical, has a mechanical switch, and all of the contacts and even all of the parts of the 510 connection are solid brass. I don't know if there's any wiring. I'm assuming that there is because it is a pipe and most have wires other than the Kato hammer, but it is fully mechanical in that it doesn't have any electronic switches, regulation, anything like that. So. But like I said, those are available for 120 bucks over at Low Tech Mods. I don't know when they're going to be back in stock, but they're pretty cool. There's a few different ones they have over there. He actually has a steampunk mechanical mod that he makes as well. That's up on the website. Check them out. Next up, this is one that has been out for a bit now, but I didn't talk about in mod news, so I wanted to mention this for those that haven't seen it yet. This is the Wapari. And I had to use this picture just to show you some of the different options available for the finish, even though those are not completed devices. You can see where the cutouts are for where the switch, the two adjustment buttons, and the screen for the DNA 20 are located. But it is a DNA 20 box mod. Really, really nice looking. Very, very pricey. I'm going to give you a link to the finish e-cigarette forum. They look absolutely gorgeous, and they're 270 euros. So like I said, definitely not a inexpensive or even moderately priced device. They're very pricey, but they look stunning in my opinion. I've seen the finished product, and some of you may have seen them around on Facebook or some of the forums as well, and they look gorgeous. If you want to, plus 10 euros shipping and then PayPal fees on top of that, says Nick. Thank you. That's it's not cheap. So, but I'm hoping that this is a case of you get what you pay for, and they're just exceptionally well made. And a lot of craftsmanship has gone into these. At least that's how they appear. The finished products are stunning to look at. So, 270 euro, Greg. Not dollars, euro. So that's about 350 bucks. Yeah. All right. So next up, we have, this is pretty interesting. This is the Orion V4 Bat. So the deal with this guy, I don't know what the price is on this yet. I don't know if it's been released. I think that the pictures are actually prototypes. But this is the new mod from No Smoker, the maker of the Orion. And it's basically an Orion V3 with the ADI cutoff and a 510 connection. So it's variable wattage up to, it has the same features as the Orion V3. It's variable wattage up to 15 watts. It's very, very compact for a device with electronics in it. As you can see, the 18650 is actually slightly shorter than a Provari in 18500 mode, which is pretty impressive. You know, if 15 watts is enough power for you, then you know, it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice option. So, but you can use 18350, 500, 650, or stacked 18350s in it. Technical data is the same as the Orion V3, except it doesn't have resistance monitoring, which means that you can use high resistance ohms. No Smoker used an example of a 6 ohm coil, and it still will fire and not error out. Which I don't know anyone that's going to build a 6 ohm coil on anything. But if you want to have, you know, if you want to use 34 gauge wire and make a nano coil out of it that's an inch long and have a 6 ohm coil, you can fire it with the bat. Orion V4 bat. So if you want to do that, you have the ability to, and you won't get any errors. Yeah, so there you have it. Let's see. Next up, so this is the 29 by Bay City Vapors, the XXIX in Roman numerals. 29, the site that I have for it is actually a link to High End Mods forum if you're on there. It's a mechanical mod made almost entirely of 101 copper. 29 being the atomic number of copper, which is why it's called the 29. The material was chosen because of its AICS rating of 101%. It's 99.9% copper and less than 0.01% oxygen, so it is basically oxygen-free copper. It's 22 mil, 20 by 1 threading. Battery sizes, it can take any 18 series batteries. And the package includes all 3 battery tubes, copper or brass switch housing, copper firing button, copper battery contact, and zinc plated spring. Copper or brass hybrid style top cap if you want that as well. It's going to be available, like I said, in all copper or brass copper tubes. Copper tubes with brass switch body and top caps. So, and you can check out that link that I sent if you want to check that out. Let's see. All right, so that's it for mod news for the week. Got some interesting stuff coming. Let's do a couple more giveaways, shall we? All right, so first up, we're going to do a giveaway from Vapor Craze. They still haven't given me the new banner yet, so if you're watching Vapor Craze, I still need the new banner. I gave you the dimensions already that you asked for, so... but anyway, Vapetoberfest is over, in case you didn't know that. But Vapor Craze is going to give away a butt ton of juice. So whoever wins this is going to win 60 milliliters of juice. 4 15 milliliter bottles. You get to pick the nick level, and the flavors are chosen randomly. So yeah, nah, it's got their logo on it. They told me they were going to send me one. That's all right. Yeah, I'll change the year on it. That's a good idea. All right. Let's see. One sec, just pulling the list in chat. All right. And Omo, you just won some juice. Let me get a confirmation from Omo in chat, please. If you would like the juice. 60 mils from Vapor Craze. Pass. All right. Cow food. Cow food wants to pass too. So it goes on to Bogar. Bogar. All right, Bogar says, count me in. Congratulations. Yes, that was very nice of you to pass and piff, guys. All right, Bogar, I'm going to send you a IM with my email address. All you got to do is send me an email with the subject Vapor Craze win, and then in the email include the nicotine level that you want and your shipping address, please. And here comes my email address. There you go. Congratulations. All right. Next up, we are going to do a giveaway from RTD Vapor. RTD Vapor, if you aren't familiar with them, shame on you. They have the best selection of batteries around. And they also have some really nice chargers, one of which we're going to give away. We're going to give away an XTAR WP2 charger, which is a really nice 2-bay charger. So let me pull the list again in case some new people joined us. I don't think they actually have e-cigarettes. They have a couple rebuildable. Oh no, you know what? They're carrying the Pure now from iHybrid Mods over at RTD. They have some stuff. Oh yeah, there you go. Jay Gator just put that in there. Yeah, they're starting to carry some mods now. Oh, he's in the room. You can tell them then. I don't know. I don't have to tell him for you. Randy's got it. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I just copied and pasted the list into chat rather than in the random list generator. That would be interesting. Let's see here. What do we got? Griff! Griff, you just won yourself a charger unless you want to pass. Let me get a confirmation from you. Oh, okay. Well, then it will go on to Tie Monster. Tie Monster 91. Let me know if you would like the WP2 charger, the XTAR WP2. All right, I'll take it, he says. Congratulations, he or she says. I'm going to send you a message in chat with my email address. All you got to do is send me an email with the subject RTD win. And that will get you, and in the email include your shipping address. And actually, I think, yeah, that's all that I need. So just RTD win for the subject, shipping address in the email. There's my email address. It just came across in IM for you. Congratulations. All right. All right. Thanks for stopping in, Nick. Okay. Let's see. All right, so vape mail. This is going to be a little brief this week. We just got one new device this week, so this is the Stingray. And let me see if this will autofocus. Of course, it's not going to autofocus. Come on, you son of a bitch. Never, never ever cooperate. Okay, hold on. There you go. So that's the Stingray. This is from JD Tech. Have to say, pretty cool little mod. I have been pretty impressed with it so far. The only thing I don't like about it so far is I don't know if you can see in the switch there. There's like a little tiny bit of a space. It's because I'm using a long battery, and it's really designed for AW size batteries, but it still fits and works fine. But there's just a little space there on the switch. But the brass that they use on this is it's a new alloy that they're calling Phantom Brass. It's aluminum, copper, and something else that I don't recall at the moment. And it doesn't tarnish as fast. And I actually really like the look of it and like the way that this thing performs. It has a switch kind of similar to the Nemesis. It's got some differences, but I have to say that I do like it so far. So, anywho, we'll be talking about that in greater detail at a later date. So that's it for mod news this week, though. Or not mod news, vape mail this week. Just the Stingray from JD Tech, but so far so good on that guy. So, let's see. Yeah, Beardo, it's more internally that it's the same. It's similar to the Nemesis than it is external. It has the same kind of tighten by threading, by screwing in the button, and the contact on the inside is actually similar to the Nemesis switch too. It doesn't really look like a Nemesis switch externally. I definitely wouldn't call it a knockoff, but it has some similarities. So. Let's see here. So next up, we're going to do a couple more giveaways, and then we're going to talk about the Romulus. So we're going to do a giveaway from E6 Vapors first. This one is for 3 18 milliliter bottles of juice from E6 Vapors. So quite a bit of juice. 54 milliliters of juice total. From E6, who has some pretty awesome juice, and they actually have a new line of juice that's coming out very soon too, if it's not already launched on the site. They're great guys over there, and they have a really good selection of juice, and they have some nice mods over there as well. They were actually carrying the Lycan from BBM, and they have some other nice stuff too. So, let's see. There we go. And Norway guy with the juice win from E6. Let me know if you want it or you want to pass. I will tell you why we switched to an hour. The reason that we switched to an hour. All right, congratulations, Norway guy. Actually, hold on one sec. I am going to send you an IM. What you need to do is go to e6vapors.com, pick out the 3 flavors that you want, and then send me an email with the subject E6 win. And in the email include the 3 flavors you want, the nicotine level that you want. If you do need a custom PG/VG ratio, include that in there too, and then include your shipping address as well, please. And here comes my email address. Congratulations. So, the reason why we switched to a 1 hour show, there's a couple reasons for it. One, because I've been crazy busy with the shop, and it's just been tough to do 2 hours worth of content. The main reason, honestly, I'm just being honest with you guys, is I'm trying to reinvest my money back into the store so we can grow the store and, as quickly as we can. And I just can't afford buying 3 devices every week. to review on the show, and the content was, you know, typically 3 reviews on the show. So there's going to be some episodes that are longer, like if I, you know, like what we did with Temu when we had Gixxer, when we had him on to do an interview and then review the Diablo hybrid. You know, we'll do, you know, a 1.5 to 2 hour show if we do something like that, but typically the show's going to be 1 hour with one device review every week. So sorry for those of you that like the 2 hour format. We're still going to do all the giveaways, but it's just, it's what we need to do now. Maybe we'll go back to 2 hours in the future. So let's see. So we're going to do one more giveaway, and then we'll talk about the Romulus. So this one's from Vape Syndicate. This is for a 30 mil bottle of juice from Vape Syndicate, who makes some really awesome juice. Throat Yogurt is actually one of my all-time favorites, and I really enjoy Jungle Fever as well. Let's see. Let's see here. Alright, and just so you know, you're right here, Naughty. I don't know if you can see that. But, there, I highlighted you. But everybody's on there, I promise. Let's see. Chip Douglas. Chip Douglas is the winner on this one. Chip, you want the 30 ml juice from Vape Syndicate? Bam, I want. All right, congratulations. All right, hold on one sec, Bogar. I'll send you my email address real quick, and then we'll send one over to Chip. It'll be in the IM tab in chat. I just sent it again. All right, Chip. What you need to do is go to vapesyndicate.com, which Jedi was kind enough to link there. Pick out the flavor that you want, and then you're going to send me an email with the subject Vape Syndicate win. In the email, flavor that you want, the nicotine level that you want, and put your shipping address in there as well, please. And I just sent you my email via IM. So, congratulations. Let's talk about the Romulus. And hold on a sec. Shit. I don't have the link up for the Romulus in my little Vape on TV thing that I usually have on the bottom. I forgot to put it up because I'm an idiot. Oh well. I'll give you the link. Hold on a sec. It's Team Hotwire Philippines is the full name of the guys that make this. And I'm going to give you the Facebook link here if you guys want to check out their site. There you go. So, the Romulus. It's not spelled like Romulus, like Romulus and Remus. It's spelled R-O-M-U-L-U-Z. Okay. Hold on a sec while I change focus here. There we go. So this is the Romulus. Let me get you a good view of the front so you can see the logo. And I'll hold this up while I talk about it here. So the Romulus is retailing in the US for $180. It's all stainless steel construction. It's made in the Philippines. It is segmented and can take all 18 series batteries. Single wick setup with a quarter reduced chamber, or you can do a double wick U-wick with a half reduced chamber option. I'll show you that when we pull the top off. It has adjustable airflow, swappable tanks, no need to needle fill. It's easy to change juice and refill. It has a recessed switch, no lock ring, silver-plated copper contacts, and the switch itself adjusts to eliminate battery rattle. So, the Romulus. Let's do super close-up, talk about this guy for a little bit. So, definitely has some interesting features. So first off, let's talk about this switch. Okay, switch is very recessed. It's not just a tiny bit recessed. So, and it doesn't have the shortest throw on it, as you can see. So this is one of those that you can't. I mean, you can fire with your knuckle of your pinky, but you really got to jam it up in there, or you got to fire it with the tip of your pinky, which I don't love that. But that's the deal with the switch. Now, here's another interesting thing about this. So this you take off in order to adjust the switch, okay? This is kind of like a switch housing that sits on the whole base of the unit. There's the switch with the spring. And then this, kind of in a similar fashion to the way that the Nemesis adjusts the switch to tighten up for a battery rattle, you adjust this whole thing, and now it's nice and snug, and the battery's not going to rattle. Now that's great. It's cool that you don't have to take the whole thing apart and use a screwdriver or adjust pins or whatever, but it's not really any less troublesome. It's because you still have to take this part off. So it's not really any easier than just taking, one of the tubes off, in my personal opinion. Still, I do like this type of battery rattle adjustment personally more than I like the telescoping pin style. I do think that this gives you a more secure battery, and it's also less finicky. You screw it in until it's stable. You don't have to worry about maybe going a little bit too far, and then all of a sudden you have a gap, and then you have to back it up a little bit and put it back on again, and so on and so forth. So better than the telescoping pins, not as good as the similar style one on the Nemesis, in my opinion. The finish on it, you can see it's a mix of polished and kind of a brushed machine look. You have a engraving here, THP with their logo. It's a media blasted looking engraving, as you can see, with the little flame there. And that is the serial number. They're done in Roman numerals. THP on the top, which stands for Team Hotwire Philippines. And as you can see, like I said, this is segmented, so you can take one of these parts off if you want to go down to an 18350, take two of them off if you want to go down to, take one off for an 18500 and two off for an 18350. I have a 650 in here right now, so we'll screw that back on all the way. And as you can hear, no battery rattle. No, it's brushed, so it's not really a fingerprint magnet. I don't know if you're asking me that or asking somebody else, but so the atomizer itself actually comes off completely, and this is kind of interesting. It's actually more than kind of interesting. So it's modular. You can actually remove, I believe you can remove this threaded portion here, and it's got like a 510 connection on the bottom, or you can actually screw this into a 510, which is kind of cool if you want to use just the atomizer. I mean, I think it's really obviously designed to be used as a hybrid, but kind of an interesting feature. Yes, Vape and Devil, if you use a larger battery, the switch does stick out more. So if you use like an Orbtronic in there, the throw is not as long. It doesn't. It's still recessed though. So I have an AW in here right now. Now, the atomizer itself. This is a cool feature. You can actually just unscrew the top, and your wicks will come out with it. And there you have it. So you can refill it that way, rather than having to use a syringe, which is pretty cool. Pop it back on there, thread it back down, and there you have it. Nice and snug, ready to go. Also on the top cap, you have adjustable airflow. So it's dual adjustable. If you want to just use one air hole, you keep going, and you can adjust the airflow there, or you can use the little insert that you can place inside here. If you're using it in single coil mode, there's a little widget that fits into the inside of this. Get the cap off here without getting juice all over the place. So there's a little piece that you can put in here that will actually take up half of the space inside the top cap. So you see the top cap there, how it's got that cutout. The little widget, if you want to use it in single coil mode, will actually fill half of that. It's a plug that fits into one of the wick holes. Okay, so underneath the top cap, you have a slightly recessed wick holes there. Obviously, I have this set up in dual coil. You can set it up single or dual, or you can do a U-wick if you want to. Now, here's, in my opinion, a major flaw with this device. So, there's no fill hole, okay? Now, I realize that they designed this so that you take the cap off to fill it, rather than filling it with a fill hole. The problem with that, though, is if you are running this at a, pretty low ohm, I'm not doing anything crazy here. I think this is a 0.8 dual coil. It might be a 0.7, something around there. When you use the device, unless you make super narrow wicks and you hold it just right so that the air can get into the tank while the liquid is wicking down the wicks or wicking up the wicks, it does not wick properly because there's nowhere for the air to go. Okay, there's nowhere for the air to get into the tank because you tilt it toward you and the liquid is actually blocking air being able to get into the tank. There's no hole on the other side that's going to allow it to get into the tank. Now, you can, depending on how you vape, that may be fine. It seems like this was kind of designed for people that do like a heavy tilt. Some people, when they vape a Genesis, they do a pretty heavy tilt with it. I'll show you what I mean. Hold on a sec. Take it off autofocus. So some people vape a Jenny, like this, kind of turn it almost upside down. So it's not really wicking, you're kind of pouring the juice down the wick. And if you do that, it's fine in dual coil and it wicks fine. That's fine. But for someone who doesn't do that, I usually vape at, I don't like to have to turn the mod upside down when I vape. I usually vape at, I guess about 4 o'clock. This is about how I typically vape. If I take a long hit off of this with this much tilt, no matter what wick setup I used, hollow, cable, solid, narrow wicks, fat wicks, all of the above, I tried them all on here in dual coil mode. It just does not wick fast enough. I do know how to build a wick pretty well, and it just, no matter what setup I did, it's just not wicking fast enough unless I do a heavy tilt. So while I like the idea of not having to fill it with a fill hole and a syringe, that fill hole is not just for filling the device. It's also a place for the air to get into the tank to replace the juice that's coming up the wicks. So, like I said, if you don't like to vape like this, it does have wicking issues in dual coil mode. I didn't have a problem with the little plastic widget in there, using it in single coil mode with it wicking so much. I was doing about a 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30, and it was fine. huge noticeable difference. I was really paying attention to it though, because I actually set it up with dual coil first before trying out single on it. So the airflow control on it does work quite well. I have to turn it to the point where it actually looks like it's closed to get a vape kind of at the draw that I like, because there's a little bit of a gap between the airflow ring and the atomizer cap. And it works well. I mean, I didn't have any issues with performance or it hitting hard enough or anything like that. You know, if you're into cloud chasing, you can certainly, you know, open this guy up, get ridiculous airflow. If you open the airflow control up all the way and blow some pretty big clouds. I'll open it up and show you here. So you can get pretty good vapor production from it if you want to open it up. I'd like it pretty tight. Yes, I like it pretty tight. I like my draw pretty tight, and it's you know, I will say this though, with the airflow control on this, I didn't have the problems that I have with the Omega, where if you've ever used an Omega dripper, it has giant air holes on it, and I had a really hard time getting a tight draw the way that I like it, because when you turn it, it kind of skips, and it was really hard to adjust it right. This is a nice smooth airflow control, so I found it less problematic with the you know, trying to get it to the place where I wanted it. But so I've been kind of rambling on about this guy. There's some things I like about it. There's some things that I don't like about it. You know, if you don't have a problem doing the, you know, if you're going to use it in dual coil and you don't have a problem doing the big tilt on it to get it to wick properly, it performs fine. It actually works quite well, and the flavor on it is really, really good because it does have that nice tight chamber. You know, so the air doesn't have a lot of room to circulate and cool before it comes up the drip tip. But you know, if you're not someone that vapes like this, then if you set it up dual coil, you're just going to have issues with it wicking. But it does have a lot of cool features. It has a lot of interesting features. The airflow control's a little different the way that they did it with the angled slots. You know, I like that you don't have to use a syringe, obviously, to fill it. The threading in the switch to tighten up the battery is a nice feature as well. So again, there's a lot of cool things about it, but overall, it's you know, I personally think it's kind of a flawed device. It does have its issues, so I do not love the Romulus hybrid. So there you have it. That is my review of the Romulus. I'd say I think that there are better options out there, even though it does have some nice features to it. So there you go. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, you could drill it out for sure. Absolutely. I just, you know, I always do my reviews based on how you get the device and how it's intended to be used by the manufacturer. I personally don't think that you should have to do modifications to something to get it to work properly when you're spending $180 on it. So there you have it. But yeah, actually, and you know, if you did drill it out and it had a little, even if it was just a tiny hole just to allow air to get into the tank, I think it would make a huge difference, and it would make this actually a really nice hybrid because it does have a lot of cool features. So, you know, if you're willing to do that, to drill a hole in there and, you know, get it to wick properly, then it's pretty good. Let's see here. A sec. Let's do a couple more giveaways then. Let's true. Sometimes we do need to improvise. Let me see. All right, we're gonna do a giveaway from some dude that makes stuff. He makes hybrids sometimes. Some people like them. So time to give away this little bugger. I love the new look. All right. Just had to show that off real quick for those that that didn't see it when I showed it off earlier on the show. So this is an 18650 blue pure. Love the new grooves on the body. I think it looks really nice. So here we go. Let's get a list of people in chat. And all right, that's funny. Faceless, I'm assuming you're going to pass to pack 79. I need you to confirm in chat if you're going to pass. All right, I'll let you think about it. I'll take a vape while you think it through. He's just messing with you, Paul. All right. You do know Faceless is the guy that made this mod and sponsors the show, right? That's iHybrid Mods. Congratulations, Paul. This is like the third time you've won on this show. Now, granted, you've been watching since like January, so I suppose that's acceptable, but congrats, man. Hold on a sec. I am going to send you an IM with my email address. There you have it. Just shoot me your shipping address with in the email with the subject iHybrid win, please. All right. Congratulations. Yeah, Face. This looks really nice, man. I didn't know you were gonna do a new tube design on it. I really like the ribs. I think it looks sweet. So, let's see. One more giveaway, and we'll do a little Q&A. We are going to do a giveaway from Boondock Vapes. This is for 6 milliliter sample pack. 4 6 milliliter bottles of juice from Boondock Vapes. You get to pick the flavors. Hold on a sec. I am a big fan of their fruit blends. If you're interested, I really like their mango. Pardon me, I have hiccups. Let's pull the list. And Master Vapor. Let me get a confirmation in chat, please. If you would like the juice from Boondock Vapes. All right. So Master Vapor, what you need to do is go to boondockvapes.com. Jedi was kind enough to link that in chat. You're going to pick out 4 flavors. And then you're going to send me an email with the subject Boondock Win. Include the 4 flavors you want, the nicotine level you want. If you need a custom PG-VG ratio, include that as well. And please be sure you include your shipping address in the email too. And here comes my email address in IM in chat. There you go. Just click on the IM tab and you will have that. All right. Yeah, Great Pixie is good too. You never got it, Sharon. You mean you never got the giveaway? Send me an email afterward. We'll get that sorted out. If you didn't get the giveaway, they probably either haven't sent it yet or forgot it. But yeah, the Great Pixie is really good. Actually, it tastes exactly like a Great Pixie stick. I like that one too. So I think Throat Yogurt is the best Vape Syndicate juice, but it's got a little bit of menthol in it. So if you don't like menthol, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you do, definitely recommend it. So let's see here. All right, I sent you your email. So let's do a little bit of Q&A. We're actually going to go over a little bit, so it's not quite a 1 hour show, but that's okay. Hold on a sec. So if you guys have any questions about anything that we talked about on the show tonight, which was just the one device this week, or you have any questions about vaping in general, whatever you want to ask, fire away. This is the time to chat about it. We'll the reason that we do this at the end of the show is I kind of have a tough time following chat during the show because I'm looking at notes on stuff and not really paying attention too frequently. So if I missed your question, I apologize. Cable, I actually buy it on eBay. 72. How far down is the switch with an Orbtronic? I'll tell you in 1 sec. Hold on. DirecTV or Dish Network? Fios. Alright. One sec. Just reassembling the switch here. So that is how recessed it is with an Orbtronic battery in it. Okay? And that's the throw, which is much shorter. There you go. Let me see here. All right, let me just try to catch up here. Mike, UK shipping. Yes, working on it. Mesh wick solid or straw wick? Depends. Depends on the device. Depends on what you're building. If you're building a U-wick, you want it to be hollow. I typically build solid wicks, but I build loose solid wicks, and I find they wick extremely well. So what I'll do is I'll actually take a wick, roll it super tight, like roll it on a table so that it's super tight. To the point where it's almost stiff, like you've already torched it, and then actually unwrap it and then re-roll it without tightening it too much, if that makes sense. So it's solid, but it's kind of loose, so you get a little bit of capillary action in between the layers of the mesh in addition to the holes of the mesh, and they wick extremely well. So that is my preferred wick setup, if that makes sense. I should probably do a tutorial on how to do those at some point. Let's see. Charity show dressed in gang colors. I'd maybe do a charity show. I don't know about dressed in gang colors. Let's see. Yes, I probably will be doing an aqua review soon. Yes, I can show you the Pure again. This is the new 18650 Pure. This one is in blue. Come on, autofocus. Don't be a jackass. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, hollow wicks work well, but I find that hollow wicks work better if you do if you do a tilt. And I don't like to tilt my device that much. So I mean, honestly, a lot of it depends on how you hold it. I don't like to, do the 3 o'clock or more tilt on my Jennies. So that does work really well with a hollow wick, but the solid wick works better vertically in my experience. Will I be at the vape meet in Keene, New Hampshire? I am 99% sure I will be there, yes. Do I worry about custard vapes? I mean, supposedly all of the ones that I have been vaping are diacetyl free. Obviously I don't know 100% for sure if they are, but most of the ones coming out these days are supposedly. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. DirecTV or Dish Network? I told you Fios. I broadcast every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Wow, PS4 is all over eBay. That's crazy. Yes, what Sam said. Vape on TV is live every night, and my show is on Wednesday nights. Let's see. Sorry if I missed some questions. It's moving faster than I can keep up. I actually haven't tried Big Willie's custard. Something about the name frightens me, and I haven't pulled the trigger on that one yet. I hear it's really good though. I'm honestly faceless. I'm not sure. I've never had DirecTV or Dish Network. I had Cox cable before, and now I have Fios. A good blackberry juice. Actually, I like the blackberry limoncello from what the hell is the name? Highbrow Vapor. Who hopefully will actually be carrying Giant Vapes in the very near future. And I also really like G2's El Black. Oh, nice. Stink just called it. G2's El Blacko. That's really good too. It's got a little bit of tobacco in it though, so I don't know if that's something that you're looking for or not. It's not a strong tobacco flavor though. That one we actually do have. Small, simple, solid 22 millimeter mod. Fuego. And they're inexpensive for a high-end mod, and they're available. Fuego, Fuego. Really good performing, relatively inexpensive telescoping mod made in the Philippines. Man, what's happening? Who's trying to burn me? Trying to catch up. God, I can't even keep up with chat. Yeah, Cox cable is terrible. Which is why I switched to Fios. They were awful. Yes, I love tacos. Thank you, Wicked Weaver. Yeah, that's a good point, Beardo. It is hard to beat the Nemesis, and they are available, and that's a 22 millimeter. So I just was kind of thinking for the lowest price, I would say the Fuego. The Nemesis is definitely a really, really nice mod, though. But you're going to spend around 200 plus on a Nemi, so. Oh, you're talking about how sexy my beard is? Alright, later, face. Have a good night. How many millimeter length on the mesh for a 3 millimeter width hole? Honestly, Quackster, I have no idea. I just cut off a piece and then I roll it, and if it's too big, then I trim a little bit off. I don't know what the length is. I'm sorry. Aqua or K-Fun, have not tried the Aqua yet, so I cannot. What I will say is, between an Aqua, a K-Fun, and a Rose, I would say Rose. So if you're looking for something of that style. I also really like the Big Ben, but again, I haven't tried the Aqua, so. But I would go for the Rose for sure over a K-Fun. Poor Quackster. I just noticed how many times you posted that. Yeah, I agree with Beardo on that one. A Nemesis over the Paps, for sure. The Nemesis is just a really solid all-around mod with no... I mean, it's easy to use, easy to lock, easy to adjust for battery rattle. It works awesome, it looks really nice, and it hits like a train. It's tough to beat. Alright. Yeah, I actually want to try out Google Fiber 2, Lions Rage. Not here yet, though. Yeah, that's all. Johnny Knoxkill, that's all that I use in the Origin Dripper. I've never used anything but mesh in it. That's it right there. Just 2 straight mesh wicks. I very, very rarely will use anything other than mesh, and I typically will try to find a way to use mesh in things that aren't designed to use mesh. So when I do reviews, you will sometimes find me using mesh on stuff that I shouldn't be. I just like the flavor of mesh better than silica and cotton personally, so. Alright. I haven't tried the Sophia, but I am not a huge fan of the Killer. I had some issues with it being a little finicky, and had some issues with some of the O-rings being too tight and getting stuck in the tank and not being able to adjust it properly. And I've heard the Sophia is nice, so. The Rose is made by Eden Mods. If you go on Facebook and look up Eden Mods, E-D-E-N Mods, you'll find their page, and they have a US distributor. I'm not sure if they're in stock yet, but they'll be available soon. So, my favorite new juice this week, I've been addicted to this stuff. Sleight of hand. There's almost no juice left in the bottle, as you can see. But yeah, from Derp Sauce, Sleight of Hand, it's like my new crack. And I'm probably going to have to buy my own product here shortly because I'm almost out. But, yeah. Yeah, Hullabaloo's pretty amazing, too. Yeah, Wicked Weaver, the Ramble is badass, too. That's actually my favorite telescope ever. They're not quite readily available, though. They'll be coming out soon. I think the V2s are going to be available at Domo next month, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, actually, Derp Sauce is available exclusively at Giant Vapes. But I swear to God, I'm not just promoting this stuff because we carry it. This stuff is amazing. I think there's actually some reviews of it on the site already, too, for Sleight of Hand. But it's like... how would I even describe this? It's got a tiny, tiny bit of menthol in it. So if you don't like menthol, you might not like it. But it's so subtle, and it's actually one of the reasons why it's called Sleight of Hand is because it has just a slight amount of menthol. But it's I'm actually pulling up the description because I'm really so this is why I don't do juice reviews. It's either like yum or no. That's pretty much the extent of my ability to review juice. So we stick to the hardware. It's blueberry vanilla with a tiny bit of menthol. What it tastes like to me is awesome with a tiny bit of menthol. So, anyway, I'm sorry if I missed any of your questions, guys. I'm still getting used to the Vaughn chat, and every time I try to scroll up to catch a question, somebody else posts something and it just bumps the whole thing down again, and I miss it. But I am going to wrap things up. We actually went over by 15 minutes already, but that's cool. Thank you guys so much for coming by tonight. If you have any questions or anything about stuff from the show, if I missed your question, feel free to hit me up on Facebook. Let me put my Facebook name in chat real quick so you can. That's me on Facebook if you want to friend me, if you have any questions about anything. I'm happy to help you out. And I apologize if I missed any questions that you said in chat. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you like the new format, the 1 hour, one product, lots of giveaways and stuff. Yeah, there you have it. So have a good night, guys. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you to the new people that came by. Congratulations, winners. And we'll see you next week.